Let's finish up the section with example 20.10. So it says the total impedance of an AC circuit containing two impedances, Z1 and Z2, in parallel is given by Z sub T equals Z sub 1, Z sub 2, all over Z sub 1 plus Z sub 2. It wants us to find Z sub T when Z sub 1 equals 1 plus J kiloohms and Z sub 2 equals 1 minus J2 kiloohms. So we're both in the same units. So first thing we're going to do is plug this all into here. So Z sub T equals 1 plus J times 1 minus J2 all over 1 plus J plus 1 minus J2. Gives us a little bit of everything that we've been doing. So I think the first thing we need to do is FOIL. First is 1 times 1. Outer is negative J2. Inner is a positive J. Last is negative J squared 2. Now we can add straight across because this is a plus. This will stay the same. So 1 plus J plus 1 minus J2. What we can do from here is combine like terms. 1 minus J, because negative J2 and a positive J is a negative J, minus a negative 1 times 2. Here we have 1 and 1, like terms, and a positive J and a minus J2. So this will also be a minus J. Coming down here, we have 1 minus J. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 times a negative is plus 2. This is still 2 minus J. 1 and a 2 is a 3, so we have 3 minus J over 2 minus J. Now, in order to do anything with that, we have to take the complex conjugate of the denominator and multiply it here and by the numerator. We're going to FOIL this. 3 times 2 is 6. We're going to plus J3 because 3 times J. Inner is negative J2. Last is negative J squared. Now we'll FOIL here. 2 times 2 is 4. First, outer is positive J2. Inner is negative J2. And last is negative J squared. If you remember, this cancels each other out. 4 minus J squared. Then we can add our like sign, or like factors, terms, sorry guys, 6 plus J5 minus J squared. Remember, J squared equals negative 1, 6 plus J5 minus a negative 1, and 4 minus a negative 1. 6 plus J5 plus 1 and 4 plus 1. That'll give us 7 plus J5 all over 5. We need to separate this. 7 over 5, J5 over 5. So we can get our calculator out. 7 divided by 5 equals 1.4 plus J, because 5 over 5 is 1. That is what Z equals. Now, don't forget our units. Never forget the units. I'm looking at the answer in the book, and the book says 0.2 instead of 1. So I believe right here, J3 minus J2. So this should have been a J1. So all along, this should have been a 1, 1, 1, and this should have been a 1. So 1 over 5 equals 0.2. So really what we have is 1.4 plus 0. Plus J, 0.2 kiloohms. That is your answer. Sorry about that. Let's highlight this so you guys can look at it. It's because right here, I added these two together.